this is something that you must have been pondering for a very long time. It's one of the biggest thematic issues out there. What happens next in trans-Pacific rivalries? This isn't about President Xi and Trump. This is about a long-term, multi-generational issue, as many people are telling me. So is there something about the situation that our viewers, that investors are missing and actually they need to get a grip of? Good morning, sir.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for having me on your show. Yeah, I think this issue is really big. It's unprecedented in so many ways. It's unprecedented because U.S. trade policy is being made by presidential executive orders rather than by laws that already exist, implemented by regulation authorities that are independent of the president. But I think what's going on here is there's a massive geopolitical shift in that both the US and China want to control three critical technologies: artificial intelligence, 5G, and semiconductor technology. In the future, you can add quantum computing to that list. And all four of those technologies are dual use. They can be used for civilian or military purposes, and therefore they have a national security aspect. And TikTok is one of the first Chinese internet apps that has been popular, hugely popular, 700 million global users, outside of China. And just in a couple of years, it's gone from almost nothing to 100 million users in the US, monthly active users. That's about a third, almost a third of the US population. So, and the issue that President Trump is taking with TikTok is that the data might be transferred to the Chinese government and therefore may be used either for censorship or surveillance on US citizens or espionage.
Will the division, the line between private sector and public sector interest, be blurred further in this great battle you're talking about as well? Because we know the accusation from the US to the Chinese side is, well, there is very little division between the private sector and the public sector. But will it be the same case stateside as well? Because these are such important technologies you talk about. Will they be left to the private sector to find a way through, or actually will there be greater state involvement?
I think part of the problem is tech is an unregulated industry in most countries, and therefore when issues like this arise, there's no regulation in place to correct things. And therefore what this means for the future of tech is that, you know, many tech companies are caught up in a trade war that's dividing the world into two trading zones, the US zone and the China zone. And what that might ultimately mean is that tech companies will have to choose. Some of them might have to, in Europe, for example, companies might have to split in two so that they can do business with the US from one company and with China from another company. And that's likely to continue even in the event of a Joe Biden presidency.
Let's get something straight here. I mean, I almost want to go back to stage one here on this one as well. You see no signs of a longer-term rapprochement on this issue. It's only going to get worse. The talk about Splinternet and other such acronyms on it, that's going to stay, yeah?
I do, because there's fundamental differences between the way many governments approach regulation of the internet. Countries like regimes in Russia and China have a different view of regimes in Europe and US in terms of freedom of speech, censorship, and just how the internet should be run and who it should be run for and what access governments should have to data.